Okay, here we go. I think we're live. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final hour of Bahrain testing, and I am here. I'm not late. Borden Rat 7. I'm not. And welcome, everybody. I'm not late. I'm not to the final hour of testing. It's just me. But hey, I'll try and keep you as entertained as possible and as informed as possible as well as we dive into this. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Manas. Zero Chill reckons Ferrari must be strong. You know what I'm like for this hype train. But hello, everybody. I am on time. I know. Incredible scenes, right? Absolutely incredible. What time do I call this? I call this on time. So we are in the final hour of testing for day one, not for the final. We've got 2 more days, don't worry. And we're watching along, of course, on Sky Sports F1. And I think you can watch it on F1 TV as well. And we are very much just going to run you through the next 59 minutes. Leclerc still fastest from Alex Albon, then Lance Stroll, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly. It feels like not much has gone on. I know there was a notable moment where Stroll's aero rake failed and caused a bit of damage and also a red flag. But apart from that, has there been a huge amount, would you say, everybody? I have been dipping in and out of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a small little emergency that I needed to attend to. So let me know if I have missed anything in the last sort of hour or so. But yeah, we're in the final hour. Let's see if anybody decides to set a blistering lap time. Am I on Drive to Survive? No, I'm in. No, I'm not in Drive to Survive, if that's the question that you're asking. But yes, we have got, as you can see on the screen as well, day one times. So Leclerc, 1 minute 31.531. Still very much the fastest driver out there. And he's done 64 laps today. But Sergio Perez has taken the headlines for mileage by a country mile. 131 laps so far today. He is in the pits at the moment. Stroll, Bottas and Gasly are the 3 that are currently circulating the Bahrain International Circuit. We've had 15 drivers in total do some kind of running today. What do I think of Albon? That's a straight in question, isn't it? Who has asked that? Aisha has asked that. What do I think of Albon? Well, it's hard to tell, really. I mean, he's up in P3, which is obviously promising for Williams. But what we were reflecting this morning was that actually they're about 5.5 seconds off the pace. And not only that, 5 seconds off pretty much, just under 4 seconds off what they managed last year in day one of testing. Verstappen did a 30.6, I believe. So we're in the 34.5s. I know things are different conditions, track, whatever, weather. Although I say weather, last year in 2021, there was a sandstorm during testing, if you remember that. So you can't really say they had optimum track conditions on day one of testing either. But yes, we move and we continue on with Gasly, Stroll and Bottas out there. It's lovely to see the Formula One cars out there, isn't it? It really is. Thoughts on the Mercedes? Lack of side pods. Hello, Arvid, firstly. Thank you for coming and joining. The lack of Mercedes side pods. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I think it's incredibly impressive if they manage to pull it off. There's been a lot of chatter, hasn't there, as well, about the Mercedes side pods actually being legal or not. But the one thing that Formula One have done, especially this year, is have much more of not a working role, but they were very much more involved in the whole process of these cars being designed. So the Formula One teams have to run them through what they're up to and what they're designing. And, that's then going to be quite unlikely that they're going to come out the pit lane and day one of Bahrain with something that the FIA deem illegal. Now, that doesn't mean that the teams can't then protest it anyway, go to the FIA, look, what the hell is this? We're very much following the rules here. Mercedes aren't. Lance Stroll's just locked up into turn 10, by the way. But you have to think that there's really not that level of illegality to the Mercedes, because they wouldn't run it otherwise. Not anyway. I know you can actually run whatever you want in testing, but they wouldn't run something that they can't do next weekend. Next weekend, Formula One starts again. How exciting is that? That's going to be awesome. So George Russell has in fact just come out the pits as well for the Mercedes team. He's on his outlap. Carlos Sainz is also on his outlap according to this. You can see his, the head of Lance Stroll being battered left, right and up and down as well, like a roller coaster with the porpoising these cars are producing. Of course, Lance Stroll in that Aston Martin, that beautiful, gorgeous livery. 9.5 out of 10 for me. My timer is stuck. I apologise. I'll get that moving. It's because I clicked out of it. My sincere apologies. So there we go. I've done... Oh, that's because I need to do that. There we go. Now it'll work. Beautiful stuff. So yeah, Lance Stroll out there at the moment. No live timing, which would suggest that it's quite a slow lap. But chat, first of all, I want to hear your opinions on, firstly, how you feel that F1 is actually being shown now. Because there was a lot of angry people about the whole fact that testing wasn't shown in Barcelona. Are we all tuning in, watching, or are you tuning in just for this and want to listen to my silly waffle for the next 54 minutes or so? Are you happy that it's being shown? Has it changed your experience a huge amount? Are you dipping in and out? I just want your general overall thoughts and feelings about the fact testing is being given coverage, because I think a lot of people can't access it because of not having a Sky subscription or whatever. But yeah, no Katie, Chef K. I know, sad. Katie unfortunately has to do a lot of work in this hour of testing. So she is busy doing a lot of editorial, which I hope you will be watching, reading as testing comes to a close. Because yeah, this hour is very much the busiest for Katie, and it's pretty busy for me as well. But look, hey, I'm here for you guys. Okay, so I hope you're appreciating the content. I'm joking. I love doing this sort of stuff, and it's great to spend some time with you guys, just chilling, waffling, seeing what's going on, actually seeing what's going on out on track, answering some of your questions as well to the level of which I can. But yeah, it's all good, and looking forward to seeing if we have any hot, fast runs from the likes of George Russell, who's down in 10th at the moment, 1.4 seconds off Leclerc's fastest time. Pietro Fittipaldi is on an outlap, as is Pierre Gasly. So that is very exciting. Hey Matt, what's your thoughts on the new Haas livery? Hello, Benji Briggs. Essentially, it's better. It's much better than it was, definitely, because they've kind of slicked it up a little bit. I like the use of the sort of red. I think it's red, orange, depends how the camera hits, to be honest. But it's a nice, it's a better color than what was on previously, and it's still not exactly blowing the socks off of anything, but I think it's a nice reasonable looking livery, a bit better than it was. We're having a look at the front nose at the moment of George Russell going into the final corner, and he is improving. His middle sector at least has improved. His first sector was a little bit steady. Sainz is also out there improving, both of them on the C3 tire. George Russell goes up to P8, a 1 minute 35.941. Carlos Sainz a little bit further back. He's about to go through the middle sector split, so let's see how he gets on. He's improved in the first sector. Does he improve in the middle as well? Oh, yeah, only 0.2 back from Charles Leclerc. So Ferrari just starting to squeeze a bit more performance out of that prancing horse. But then, as I say, it's like 4 seconds off what Verstappen did last year in day one of testing. So is it squeezing performance? Are the cars 4 seconds off what we experienced last year? There's going to be a lot of development, let's put it that way. Sainz goes second fastest, just under 0.2 slower than Charles Leclerc, and a purple final sector. So I take a swig of drink because it's a lot of talking. 51 minutes, it's like doing a solo podcast. But it's not really, because you guys are here with me, which is lovely stuff. Are onboards on? I imagine you're asking if onboards are being shown on Sky TV. Yes, they are. They don't show as many onboards as I'd potentially like. You can also see Anthony Davidson down there with Rachel Brooks having a chat at turn 10. Ferrari 1-2, let's go. I mean, look, I didn't mention it. I was trying to be calm. And yes, it is a Ferrari 1-2. Tech Yeah, where's Katie or Tommy? Well, I'm sorry that I'm not enough for you, Tech Yeah. But Katie is busy doing some editorial stuff because she's It's got lots to do in this final hour, and it's not the best hour for someone who's managing a website to be nattering on a live stream. And Tommy's on holiday, so you're just with me. I'm sorry if I'm not enough. Don't make me doubt myself. But Pierre Gasly, let's speak about what's going on track. Gasly, currently third at the moment. It's on the fastest first sector. PB in the middle. Is Pierre Gasly about to go fastest and ruin the Ferrari dream? He is, by half a second. Pierre Gasly, 1 minute 34.010, ruins the Ferrari dream. Thank you so much for that, Pierre Gasly. Purple in the first and last sector. But yeah, there you go. So clearly there is a bit more performance in these cars, and AlphaTauri wanted to get to the top of the timesheets to maybe steal a little bit of glory as well. Get people start talking about the AlphaTauri. So yeah, great lap from Pierre Gasly. Half a second up. Perfect. Okay, so C4 tyres, worth mentioning. Yep, good point, Louis. C4 tyres for Gasly. Both Ferraris on the C3 tyre, so all good. 49 minutes to go. I just came to say hello to Matt. Oh, hello, gonna hit you. Great to have you. We love Matty. Oh, thank you, Tactical Sumo. Satsuma, I really appreciate that. Who do you think is sandbagging? Asks Patrick Hamilton. Everybody. Every single team, I think, is sandbagging. So there you go. Not updated. So the timings are manually updated by the Race Live Media Hub. So you may have to wait a few moments for it to be updated. I'm sorry that it may take a small amount of time. But we're not allowed to just rip the live feed from Formula One because that is literally stealing. So we are using the Race Live Media Hub, who are our wonderful colleagues over at Shock, The Race. And yeah, it's been brilliant to work with them over the course of these 2 testing weeks. Carlos Sainz P2. Yeah, that's a thing. Matt, do you think this will be Seb's last year? Oh, I don't think so. I hope not. Seb is an absolute legend. We're taking a look at a slow-mo replay of the Alfa Romeo rear part of the car and the flow vis that's been applied to it. Is this a replay as well? I don't imagine this is a replay, or is it? Is it some back-end loss? No, I think they've just got the word replay stuck. There you go. It's gone now. So at the moment, we've only got 3 cars out on track. Sainz, Russell and Pietro Fittipaldi. Why is Fittipaldi at Haas? Well, he's the reserve, and Kevin Magnussen's deal was pretty much signed, I don't know, very, very recently. I think Kevin even said in an interview earlier on today that he didn't know if he was going to be a Haas driver when he was on the plane to Bahrain. So that kind of shows you that shows you how late notice it all was. I think apparently it was about a week ago that he got the call. Like a week. He just chilling, doing a bit of racing for Peugeot, I believe. And then it's like, do you want a Formula One drive? Yeah, I think I can fit that in my diary. Was it 23 weekends of the year? Yeah, all right, no worries. So yeah, Magnussen back, but he's not driving today. He's had his seat fitting today, though. He was mentioning in an interview that he had the same seat throughout his entire Haas career, but he can't use the same seat for these cars because it needs to be slightly altered due to just the new shape of the cars. So interesting stuff. What other questions have we got from you guys, from you beautiful lot? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, says JB. Lovely stuff. I need to cough. 1 second. Cool. Do you think Mercedes will continue to have the porpoising problem, asks Parv Jane. Well, we're riding on board right now with George Russell, so let's see how much bouncing is going on. He's only doing 280 kilometres an hour into the final corner. Doesn't look like he is pushing in the slightest. Is he going to push now? Is he going to open DRS? I don't think so. I do not think so. Gasly's on an outlap, our fastest lap time setter of the day. And half a second clear of Charles Leclerc now. In terms of the mileage, it's worth having a look at that. 1 moment. So the mileage, you've got 88 laps for Pierre Gasly, 64 laps for Charles Leclerc, 41 for Sainz, 104 laps for Albon, 36 for Stroll, Bottas 55, Vettel 39, Russell 47, Norris 40, Perez 131, 62 for Hamilton, 42 for Ocon, 54 for Zhou, 34 for Fittipaldi, and 13 for Fernando Alonso. I've got some more images that I can pop up on screen very shortly. Oh, we got one of some tyre wheel covers. We've got loads of images. Thank you to Benji for those images being sent over. Let's have a look at those wheel covers first and foremost. Look at those. Now, chat, are we a fan of what Alfa Romeo have done with their wheel covers? Are we a fan? For me, definitely. Me and Katie were chatting about whether it was actually the Bahrain flag that they've gone for rather than the white and red of the Alfa Romeo car livery. It'd be quite funny if they did a nationality flag for each and every Grand Prix they go to. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a good idea if you have the time and resource and are that bored. But we move on. Gasly, Sainz, Russell, Fittipaldi and Alonso out on track at the moment. Mr. Andrew RG, there is a lot of correcting on the main straight. Can't recall the same thing from the last season. Anyone else spotting the same thing? Yes, I've spotted that, especially this morning. I think it was Lando earlier on today. Hard braking and was properly his nose was just going like that into the braking zone, which I don't think I've ever seen. Not to that extent anyway. So that's definitely not the optimum way for braking for a corner, and definitely isn't right for the driver in order to maximise both their confidence and also their speed through the corner. So, yeah, that was very interesting to watch that. Seeing the Ferrari bouncing a reasonable amount down towards turn one with Carlos Sainz, but nothing like what we saw with Charles Leclerc down the Strait of Barcelona. That was absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? It really was. Is there live coverage this time? Yes, there is, Ivan. There is indeed. It's on Sky F1 and F1 TV. Vicky Cordingley. Hi, Matt. What day do you think we'll start to see their 2022 pace? I'm pleased with Alfa Romeo's running today. Firstly, hello. Secondly, we're not going to see their true running until Saturday qualifying next week, if I'm being completely honest. It will be interesting to analyse the times to a degree at the end of day 3, maybe in the afternoon when it's cooled off a little bit, because this morning, very hot. So Charles Leclerc's time of a 34.5 in the blistering sunshine this morning was a very good lap time, or maybe it was technically afternoon in Bahrain, but morning for me. So yeah, Gasly improving to that. No surprise really on the C4 tyre on a push lap. He comes over the line, does a fastest last sector and only 43 thousandths slower than he was just a few moments ago. So a couple of 34 zeros for Gasly. And C4 tyre though, so is a step softer than the likes of Leclerc and Sainz. But good stuff from Pierre Gasly. It's a confidence builder. It's always nice to top a timesheet. It doesn't matter that it's F1 testing. If you see yourself as P1, it feels good. And you cannot deny that. What other questions? Why Alpine's so bad, SMH? Well, I wouldn't say they're bad. I think you have to judge them on the mileage. And to be fair, the mileage hasn't been massive for Alonso or Ocon. They've done 55 laps in total today. Comparing that to our leaders in mileage, 131 laps for Perez alone. So that kind of shows you just how many miles you can do if your run goes to plan. So much so, I don't think Perez has actually been out for a little while because he's just done so many laps. They've gone, we don't want to do too many more because, you have to weigh up data, information gathering to just burning through components. Because, of course, you can't be just flying through those because of the cost cap. So, yeah, it is very interesting to see that Sergio has not been out for a little while. Alonso comes into the pits in the Alpine. Right now we've got Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Russell, Norris and Fittipaldi out on track. Great to see Fittipaldi in that Haas getting a nice old run out in this new 2022 car. Another question. Mavinda. Matt, tell us about Mercedes sim experience more. How was it compared to your home sim? Which car were they simulating in your run? 2019? So as far as I'm aware, it is the simulator that they use for the drivers that was in the video. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's on our YouTube channel from a couple of days ago. I think we uploaded it, me driving the Mercedes F1 sim at the Mercedes HQ. It was awesome. I think the main takeaway for me, and something that you would have seen in the video, is just the sheer level of grip. Like the redonkulous level of grip, both through front end and being able to just chuck the car in. Copse Corner was just the easiest flat you've ever seen. Where is Lando Norris heading? Lando's made a big mess up of turn 10, locked up, and then done a nice little 360. I would say... Oh, no, it's a 180. It's a 180. It's not 360, Matt. Come on. Know your degrees. If it's a 360, you'd go the same way. Pierre Gasly struggling for traction at the final corner. But yeah, the Mercedes sim experience, incredible. Like even the traction was, so much better than maybe you would experience in the F1 game. I imagine they haven't got it on the most hardcore setting for when I was in there. I would have liked it, to be honest, because, I do run with no assist and play iRacing. But it very much matches up to the kind of experience I had or have had in iRacing. If you've actually raced on iRacing, you'll see that Mercedes have partnered with them to actually create a 2021 and 2022 car with some of their data. So I would say it's similar to the experience on there. Right, moving on to some more testing. 39 minutes to go. Sainz, Stroll, Russell Norris and Fittipaldi out on track. What is some more questions? Do you think the new Mercedes side pods are legal? Thank you for your question, Parv. The first thing I would say, and I did mention it kind of when I went live, yes, I think they probably are, because the FIA have, they know full well what everybody is doing. Like, they are allowed to analyse, and the teams have to tell them when new upgrades are brought in. So that element of secrecy isn't really a thing anymore, and to have something so clearly obvious as a side pod basically missing, I'm sure the FIA probably would have flagged it by now. And I think even Ross Brawn was interviewed earlier today and kind of said, no, it's fine. So there you go. Will we see some more crazy side pods by the start of next week? It's going to be a big ask for a team to change their philosophy as big as that. Matt, is DRS bigger this year? Hello, Dejan. Yes, it is. I mean, the rear wing... It looks bigger. It's more of like a spoon. Like it's deeper and it's less boxy, obviously, than last year. But the rear wings, at least in my opinion, are bigger. But I think they seem even more large because of the depth of them as well. But the slot gap does seem to be bigger than what we've seen. I mean, you just see Lando opening it now. It's crazy the way that it opens, but it almost doesn't even cover the whole opening because it's such a large flap. So yeah, interesting stuff. I wonder if we will see some innovations. We will. I say wonder. We definitely will see a lot of change as the season progresses. Here is Lando Norris. We've got a replay going very wide, almost taking the Sakir outer track. That was a similar line to what the drivers were doing in round one last year and got Verstappen had to give the position back, didn't he, after going wide at that corner? No problem for the answer, Dejan. Deluk, hi Matt, what do you think the pace difference between K-Mag and Mick will be? I mean, it's difficult to say. This is all very much speculation. I think that, obviously, with Magnussen being out of the car for a year, it's not going to be great. I think that it will take physically Kevin maybe a few races to really get up to speed. Or Pietro's had a big old lock up on the front left into turn one. That's going to ruin any lap time he was hoping to do. But yeah, I think physically, Kevin will maybe take a few races because, as much as you train your neck, you're not... nothing can prepare you for driving a Formula One car at over 200 miles per hour, over 330 kilometers an hour. And he wouldn't have been doing neck training to the degree of what he would be doing if he was in preparing for a Formula One season. So there are difficulties and hurdles that Kevin has to jump through or jump over. Another one being that he has to learn all the controls. A lot of the controls are different. He said in an interview earlier that the suspension is different. There's a lot to learn. It's a brand new car. But I think for him, it almost works a little bit better that it is a clean slate in terms of the regulations in a lot of ways. New wheels, everybody's pretty much in the same boat. They've had 3 extra days in Spain that Kevin can't utilise, but that's where the team have to get around him and really give him all the data that he needs from Barcelona. So yeah, I think that Mick may well be sort of on par with Kevin, maybe a little bit quicker at the start of the season, but I think overall, I think Kevin will have the upper hand over Mick this year. But we'll see. You know, I have strong faith that Mick is an incredibly good driver. I just think he takes a little bit of time to warm up. Every single time in a junior formula, he's taken a season to get sort of warmed up. Then he, won the championship. I think for this year, it'll almost feel like a new formula for him. So I'm expecting a sort of slower learning curve for Mick. Right, 34 minutes to go. 3 cars out on track. We're just watching a replay of Pietro Fittipaldi with a big old lock-up into turn number 1. Oh no, it wasn't even a lock-up this time. He just completely lost control of the car, soaring at the wheel a little bit. Oh, there was a little bit of a lock-up actually on the front left. So yeah, there you go. I have to keep taking swigs of drink because it's a lot of talking. George Russell into turn 10. He's had a little bit of a front left lock-up and taken the outside line, which would not be allowed in Formula 1 qualifying. Gasly, Russell, Fittipaldi, the 3 drivers out on track with 34 minutes to go. Jared Milner. Matt, can we take in comfort that Ferrari has decent reliability with their mileage? Absolutely. I think the one thing you can judge a team on is the mileage. That's the one crucial thing you can take a look at. And 105 laps so far for the Ferrari team. Not as much as Red Bull and 131. Is there anyone else that comes close? Don't think so. Alfa Romeo Bottas had 55 laps, 54 laps for Guan Yu Zhou. So that's a solid outing of 109 laps for Alfa Romeo today. Aston Martin, not so many. So yeah, it's solid. It's over 100 laps in a day is absolutely a success. Doesn't matter what you've done. If you've circulated the Bahrain or Spanish Grand Prix circuit over 100 times in a day of testing, that is definitely a win. So anything above that is obviously just a bonus, but it's also showed. Oh, actually, speaking of the devil, I was about to speak about Perez. We can see him in the pit lane. He's not got any rear wheel tyres on at the moment, but he is in the car waiting. He hasn't got a front wing on either, to be fair. So I wonder if he's going to have a small little go at the end of today. Maybe a little push to see if he can get a bit further up the leaderboard. Currently 10th fastest is Sergio Perez. But yeah, it's a good day's work from Perez, and I'm sure his neck is feeling it a little bit. 131 laps, that's pretty much 2 race distances in one day. You're back, you liar. Yes, Harry. We decided that, look, we gotta keep you in the loop, and I love doing these sorts of things. So we spoke about it. I said, you know what, I'll work till whenever. I'll get these videos done for you because this is an important time in the year, F1 testing. So we are going to be doing obviously this for the next 32 minutes, and then we will be back for the morning. So 7 till 11. Make sure you set your alarms. 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. if you're from the UK or the same time zone as that. So we'll be there for the entire morning session tomorrow. The last hour again tomorrow, and then the same format for the final day. 4 hours in the morning, and then an hour in the afternoon. So very exciting. Be sure to tune in then if you so please. More questions. Let's have a look and see. Big thank you, Matt. You're welcome, Team JBR. I hope you're enjoying it. I really do. Is Perez running on the C2 or C3? I am not sure. We will see very shortly when they whip off the tyre blankets in a moment. And I will keep an eye out for that for you. How's McLaren? McLaren's all right. They've had a reasonably quiet day, to be honest. Norris down in 9th, 44 laps done. Not exactly a huge amount of laps because Danny Rick is unwell, unfortunately, which means that Norris had to jump into the car today. So 44 laps for McLaren is actually quite disastrous, to be honest with you. It's probably one of the lowest mileages mileages, of the day. So it's a shame for Lando and McLaren because they were looking pretty nice coming out of Barcelona. It's not to say that the car's horrendous or anything like that, but clearly they've had a few issues to only get that amount of mileage today. So we can see Fernando Alonso, two-time champ, out on track on an outlap. Looked like he was doing some kind of tyre warm-up as well. C3 medium tyres on that Alpine car. Is he going to go for a push lap? Let's have a look and see. Does he open the DRS? He does indeed. Fernando Alonso, let's see if he can improve from 5.4 seconds off the pace. Valtteri Bottas, the only other driver out there with him at the moment. I'd love to see a little onboard, to be fair. These off-board camera shots don't really tell us a huge amount, apart from a bit of squirreling here and there. I want to see how much Fernando Alonso is working on the wheel, for me, to be honest. Any big problems with any of the cars today? Well, I was just mentioning, I think McLaren have had maybe a few issues. There was a brake-by-wire issue, or a suspected brake-by-wire issue. Oh, that is Perez going out on the C2s shortly, for anyone wondering. But yeah, nothing major. There was obviously a small red flag for Lance Stroll causing a bit of debris from his aero rake. But as far as I'm aware, we've not really missed much else. But as I say, I have been dipping in and out. So I apologise if I have missed something crazy. And I'm sure you'll let me know in the chat if that is the case. Alonso pushing on. He has improved in that first sector, but no surprise. He's 5.4 seconds off the pace. I'd hope he is improving. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near Pierre Gasly's time. It is not. 1.9 seconds off the pace through that middle sector for Fernando. So we are still 3.5 seconds off what we saw day one, Max Verstappen 2021 testing. Of course, completely new iteration of car. There has to be allowances there for teams getting to grips with this new regulation of car, but still that is a big chunky gap. Alonso slowed down the penultimate straight there and decided he did not want to set that lap time. It wasn't going to be anything that you want to be shouting about. And we've got a couple more cars out on track. Perez and Gasly. Gasly, our fastest driver of the day so far by half a second on the C4 tyre. The porpoise effect seems more extreme, says Formula Shorts. What do you mean, compared to last test? I would argue not. I mean, obviously we didn't get much footage from it, but we also saw some insane footage of Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari bouncing like he was honestly on a bouncy castle down that start-finish straight. So, yeah, I think they've got the handle of it, kind of. Obviously, it does change between circuits as well. So, the track at Barcelona may well cause a bit more porpoising due to the nature of the track. But you just have to, the teams are going to have to be very versatile as we go through this 23 race calendar. Here is Perez going down the straight. Doesn't look like he's pushing in the slightest. Hasn't got DRS open. So he is just bedding in for a few laps. Only 297 kilometres at the end of the straight. We're looking at maybe 320 if you're on a serious push lap. Gasly was bouncing a lot. Yeah, I'm not saying that porpoising is gone, because it's not, definitely not. But I don't think it is as extreme as what we saw in Barcelona. Hey, Matt, do you think that Williams is a midfield team now? Asks Rudolph. I love all these questions. Like, Matt, do you think these are quick? Matt, are these slow? Matt, are these quick? Are they good? Are they bad? But look, we don't really know until we get to next weekend. Only next weekend to go. But I would hazard a guess to say that the likes of Mercedes, Red Bull will all be at the front. Pierre Gasly is a 10th up on his previous lap time. So he is pushing on to maybe dip into the 33s. On the C4 tyre, it looks like... No, that's the C5 tyre. Pierre Gasly on the softest compound of tyre. Coming towards the line now. And he improves by 1/10 of a second to go fastest on a 33.902. But yeah, C5 tyre for AlphaTauri, which is the softest compound available. And went for a lovely push lap, purple middle sector, and smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. But I wonder whether there's still a bit more time on the table. A 10th improvement from a C4 to a C5. Yeah, it depends. It depends how the track is reacting to that compound of tyre. It may well be running out of life by the end of it. Who knows? Lots of things to think about. The tyres, of course, completely new for this year. 18-inch wheels. I'm kind of already used to them. I think if we saw a normal car with, what's going on here? Alpine and Aston Martin. Oh my God, what is going on? What am I watching? That was Stroll and Alonso having a little bit of a ding-dong. Stroll going up the inside, makes the move on Fernando Alonso, and all of a sudden we've got a battle going on track between the two of them. And Alonso does not want to lose this whatsoever, opens the DRS, and is going to go back up the inside. What a bit of action this is. Lance Stroll, what am I watching? This is incredible. Why are they battling so much? Oh my God. Fernando loses that battle to Lance Stroll. What? That was insane. Clearly, someone was not happy with someone else, and we caught the last end of that. And my goodness me, Stroll and Alonso looked like they were battling for the championship. I thoroughly enjoyed it though. Not gonna lie, that was a bit tasty, wasn't it? I might have to do a little tweet about that, to be honest. So we're going to see a replay actually here. So Lance Stroll goes wide. Does Alonso then... Oh, okay. So Stroll then wanted to get on with it. And then Alonso closes the door a little bit. And then Lance just gets really angry. Really angry indeed. And then sends one to the inside. Well, I think we can say that the cars can battle. So Stroll and Alonso giving us all hope that these 2022 F1 cars can go side by side forever. So yeah, 22 minutes to go, and that's awesome. That was brilliant. I'm sorry, I'm just doing a tweet because that was Stroll and Alonso giving us all hope that these 2022 F1 cars can overtake. That was good fun. I want to see more of that. That's what F1 testing should be about. They should be forced into battle. I want more of that. That was so good. So there is Lando Norris back out on track. And he is joined by Stroll, Bottas, Perez, and Alonso. I want to see more battling. I'm not going to lie to you. We just had a taste. We just had a taste of full wheel-to-wheel battling. How did we feel? For those that saw it, for those that are watching along with me, what do we think? I thought that was very exciting, and looked quite juicy for the racing. Not going to lie to you. I guess there was a little bit of argy-bargy, a little bit of maybe rudeness going on from both drivers, and maybe they've just given us some serious hope. Loves racing. I'm actually really typing. I just use my keyboard that much that I type very fast. So I'm not trying to pretend that I can type fast. I don't think that's a flex, really. It just means you're on your computer too much. Stroll World Drivers' Championship confirmed, or champion confirmed, says Kev. Agreed. It could happen. You know, he just beat the Alpine wheel to wheel. Fernando Alonso, 2-time champ in the mud. And good stuff. So there is Lando Norris improving in the first and second sector on the C2 tyre. Let me change the picture because I haven't changed the rims for a little while. The wheel covers even. Yeah, rims, wheel covers, whatever you want to call them. Let's stick a there. Lovely. What a lovely little image that is of the Ferrari. We're a big fan of that. Lando Norris is P6, 1.4 seconds off the pace. Gasly, Stroll, Norris, Bottas, Perez and Alonso out on track. See, the beauty of like sky testing and things like that is that they can just throw to an ad break. If I needed the toilet, I'm finished. Thankfully, I don't, and I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry, guys. I'm just thinking like they throw to an ad break and then they can chill out. I've just been talking non-stop for 40 minutes, and I'm still going. I feel good. 20 minutes to go. In day one of testing, thank you for joining me in this update session. It's been a pleasure to have you all with me. What are the prototype tyres all about, asks Max. I don't know a huge amount about the actual running they have to do, but I know that each team has to do a certain amount of running. That's my understanding anyway. I might be wrong, but I know that's what they've done previously, where they have to test out these prototype tyres to give Pirelli feedback on what they're like. So, yeah, there's that, but yeah, I haven't got a huge amount more information for you on that. Question. Hakim asks about the Mercedes podless side pod. I have spoken about this a few times, but I know people dip in and out. Just because it's aggressive doesn't necessarily mean it works. I know that some engineers have been incredibly impressed that they've managed to do that and, not had problems with cooling. But yeah, there's plenty of innovations going around, and that's the beauty. Like, that's something that not a lot of people thought coming into this season we would see. We thought everyone would probably go down a similar route, and there will be one way that is the quickest. And there may still be that, but I think some teams will have to play catch up in the first few races of the season. So that's exciting. But yeah, it's going to be a proper arms race of just trying to upgrade your car as much as possible, as quickly as possible, because if you're not quick in the development side of this F1 champion for this F1 championship, then you will fall behind very quickly. So if you're the likes of Haas and you've not got as many people in your team, but you've had a good start, you need to be able to keep up that momentum. You have to keep upgrading your car, because these cars are by no means the finalised versions that we'll see come Abu Dhabi at the end of the season. So it's very much an upgrade race between all the teams. Valtteri Bottas is out there. So is Norris, Stroll and Gasly. 4 cars out on track at the moment. 18 minutes to go. PG Racer, why is Fittipaldi driving? I'm sure the agreement probably was already drafted up and signed for Fittipaldi to drive. I'm sure also Magnussen's stuff just isn't ready. That he had to have his seat fitting today. Things like that. You can't just jump into a random seat. You have to have it moulded around you. Otherwise, you'll be bashing into parts of the inside of the F1 car. You'll be getting bruises. You'll be hurting yourself. Benji has messaged me saying check Slack. Thank you, Benji. Really appreciate it. I will put one of your images up then, because you shouted at me. So there you go. There is the Alfa Romeo with the beautiful wheel covers. Love that a lot. Fittipaldi, speaking of, has just left the pits and is on an outlap. Valtteri Bottas, P7, 1.5 seconds off. His teammate, 3.2 seconds back. He did the morning session. You wonder what Bottas can do this year. Because for me, I think it's quite obvious he's not a bad driver. Yes, critical I was, and many people were, of his, championship challenge, or lack of, at Mercedes. But, of course you're going to be criticised when you're up against Hamilton, especially from people that want to see a close championship fight, and Mercedes were the only ones that could be any good. So, of course, you want your teammate to be quick. You want the teammate to be quick, so we get some sort of fight, but we just didn't get that really. But I think in Alfa Romeo, Bottas will feel much more relaxed. He can shape the team around him. His teammate is a rookie, so that means that he can very much shape Alfa Romeo and the way he wants the car to drive, which I think will be a refreshing thing for him. He's already said that he's really happy to have a multi-year deal. He's been on 1-year deals for ever since he was at Mercedes, which it can't fill you with confidence. Despite winning the Constructors' Championship every single year, they always just went for a year contract. Having a look at Lewis Hamilton in the pit lane with Toto Wolff, whilst George Russell is in the car. And there is an image of a leaky Red Bull. That does not look great. I wonder what is leaking under the engine cover of that Red Bull. I would imagine we're not going to see that Red Bull for the rest of the session if that is something that has failed on the car. Lovely little shot from the camera operator there. Thank you for that. George Russell's actually coming into the pits now. Just spoke about him. Is he leaving the pits though? Yes, he is, because he's already driven past the garage of Mercedes. Will he do a practice start at the end? No, he's going to drive straight on out. Who needs a practice start? He certainly does not. Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Norris, Russell and Fittipaldi out on track at the moment. And it's a pleasure to have you all along. I know this was a very last-minute live stream, so thank you to, just over 4,500 of you for joining me in this final hour of testing. It's a pleasure to have you on with us. Again, we'll be back for the morning session, 7 till 11 a.m. UK time. So please do join us then. It'll be myself and somebody. Not sure yet, but it'll be somebody. And we'll have good fun. Otherwise, I'll just be speaking for 4 hours, which I don't think anyone wants to hear that. Fittipaldi running a bit wide on his fast lap as well. And he's coming into the final corner. He's on the prototype tyres, as you can see by the little T, if you are watching along on Sky or on F1 TV. He's not going to set the world alight with this lap time. He does improve. 3.5 seconds off the pace. Still is Fittipaldi. Hit the like, says Dom Roper. Yeah, you should. Hit the like. That would be lovely if you hit the like button. But yes, we'll be back tomorrow morning and for the final hour of the afternoon, and again for the morning, and again for the final hour of the afternoon. Pietro really struggling with that Haas at the moment. Does not seem to be. He's not seemed to be liking it very much. Very interested to see what Kevin Magnussen is like in the car. Does he have the same struggles as we saw last year with Mazepin and Schumacher? Does he step the team forward? I do very much like that livery a lot more than what we had previously. Why Fittipaldi not Mag? I feel like the same question just comes in every single time. Magnussen's seat wouldn't have been ready, so Fittipaldi would have signed the agreement to do testing or whatever, and they've just kept him in the car because Magnussen would not have been able to jump in today, I do not think. Sainz is out there on the C3 tyre. He is potentially on some kind of push lap. That looks reasonably quick through turn number 4, I believe that is. And he is 61 thousandths off Pierre Gasly on the C3 tyre. Remember, Gasly's fastest time, 33.9 on the C5s. He also did 2:34.0s on the C4 tyre. Sainz is on the C3, the yellow-walled medium tyre. Can he get anywhere near Pierre Gasly's fastest time? This middle sector always had a little bit of a lock-up, trying to slow that car down. The front left just not wanting to bite, or biting for all the wrong reasons. His DRS is wide open. Still pushing along is Carlos Sainz. And he's going to now go through this left-hander up the hill. This is where we saw Charles have a bit of a moment earlier on this morning. Through the middle sector we come. Carlos Sainz. He is, just over a quarter of a second down on Pierre Gasly's time, but much better than what he had originally put on the table. So round this final corner he is about to come. Hard braking, about 75 metres it seems. Maybe left a little bit of time on the table there. Seemed like he turned in a bit early, then being ruffled up by the exit curb. Now comes to the line. Carlos Sainz does a 34.359, goes second fastest, displaces Charles Leclerc. 4.5 tenths off what Pierre Gasly has managed. So there you go. Good stuff. I do need my answers on a loop. Jules, great to have you. Thanks for tuning in and being a mod. Can't see the live footage. What is everyone's mileage like today? Well, Sammy, if you take a look at the stream that you're watching, you'll see it's on screen. But if you want me to run you through it, that's absolutely fine as well. But I do love I love the question. It's like, it's on the screen, guys. 99 laps for Pierre Gasly. That is very close to a century. Perez is now up to 137. The rest of the mileage is up on screen for you to check out, because there's a lot of people to read out, and there's only 11 minutes left in this session. And I'll keep answering a few more questions. Richard Reed says we need 3,000 likes. Guys, We need 3,000 likes, apparently. So if you could give us 3,000 likes, that'd be lovely. If you love us, if you love WTF1, please do subscribe and please click the like button. I know I'm late, but glad to catch the last 10 minutes of these cars bouncing around the track. Yeah, we love it. We love a bit of bouncing. Not too much, though, because the drivers will get seasick, and that's not fun. George Russell has done a PB first sector. That's a big lock-up again. Front left, and he's run off the track at turn number 10. Yeah, the Mercedes cannot get to grips with turn 10. Like Lewis went wide so many times at turn 10 this morning, and George Russell, exactly the same problem. Maybe this is all part of the sandbag plan. How about them? How about them apples, huh? Maybe. Virtual safety car has been deployed. I imagine, again, that is very much a planned procedure because it came out with 10 minutes to go pretty much. They just make sure all the systems working, make sure that all the gaps are monitored and everything like that. All the systems on the cars are working. They have to test all these things out, and they can't test it if the cars aren't out on track. So there you go. VSC out at the moment, so we're not going to see any improvements yet. More questions. Let's have a look and see. Rundown of the laps, Matt. Come on, they're on screen. You don't need me to ruin my voice on the first day, do you? Really? I feel like everyone is looking up at turn 10. You are correct, Freddie. A lot of people are looking up at turn 10. George Russell, seeing a replay of him doing that right now. Front left, big lock up. Couldn't slow it down enough. And ran wide. Do we know what is with Danny Rick? No, I haven't seen. I'm sure there will be news of how he is feeling after today, but could be many things. But it's better to not speculate and just wait to see. But all we know is he's unwell and could not do the running today. Are you sleepy, Matt? Well, Yogi, I've been doing this since 7 a.m. Oh, Perez is off. Oh, no, he's just reversed into the gravel trap. Sorry, how has he managed that with the VSC? The VSC is out. The VSC is out, and it's now a red flag. Red flag. So the session has been suspended, and that is... Wow, we're going to see a replay of that. So Perez binned it. He's binned it in under VSC. Oh, okay, what's going on here then? So he's literally crawling. And oh my goodness. So he loses the car, and then the momentum rolls him backwards, and he rolls into the gravel trap. Oh, that's an embarrassing one. He's got to be slamming on the brakes right about now, but I think he's not realised that there's a gravel trap there, and then he's dipped his rear wheels in, and it's game over. That's it. He's spun up too much sand, or whatever they use in that particular gravel trap. And that is an embarrassing way to end the session. He now has to get out the car, and that'll take a few minutes to recover. Red Bull won't want that either, to be honest, because they have to then put it on a recovery vehicle and get it back to the pit lane. So under VSC as well? Under VSC? That was, an embarrassing one for Perez. Unfortunately, we've got 6 minutes and 25 seconds to go. And that is about... Well, is that going to be all she wrote? Might get a couple more minutes at the end of the session. I'm not sure. Maybe the teams will just pack up now, because they're going to have to get that car onto the back of a recovery vehicle. Here's a replay of Pierre Gasly's. Oh my God. That is some serious porpoising. Okay, that was an onboard. Oh my days. Oh, that can't... Wow, that onboard of Gasly, that cannot be comfortable in the slightest. That really can't. Goodness gracious me. So, there's Perez taking a look at his Red Bull, and that's 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the session. Yeah, that doesn't look good, does it? Like, they're going to have to do more. Clearly, teams aren't willing to sacrifice too much time in order to not actually have porpoising. It's very strange. I'm still getting over the Alonso-Stroll fight, to be honest with you, because I want more of that. I want to see a replay of that, to be honest with you, because that was amazing. I'm not going to lie to you. That was really, really good. So let's give you a rundown then of what has gone on in terms of timings and mileage. It is on screen, but I'll run you through it. So Gasly, 102 laps, 1 minute 33.902 on the C4 tyre. That's actually C5. That's incorrect on that. Yeah, his fastest time was on the C5. Then you've got Carlos Sainz, a 34.359 on the C3. 51 laps completed. Then Leclerc, 34.531, C3 tyre, 64 laps completed. Lance Stroll, 34.736, C4 tyre, 49 laps. A 35.070 C4 tyre, 104 laps for Alex Albon. A 35.356 for Lando Norris, C2 tyre, 49 laps. And then Valtteri Bottas, Alfa Romeo, 35.495, C3 tyre, 66 laps. Then 39 laps for Sebastian Vettel, a 35.706 on the C3 tyre. Russell, also on the C3, 35.941, 59 laps completed. Perez, who's just unfortunately binned it in the gravel, 137 laps, 35.977 C3 tyre. Hamilton, 36.365 C3 tyre, 62 laps completed. Alonso, 36.745 C3 tyre, 24 laps completed. Ocon, 36.768 C2 tyre, 42 laps. Then we get to our penultimate runner, Zhou, 37.164 C3 tyre, 54 laps. And finally, Fittipaldi, 37.422 C2 tyre, 46 laps. There you go. There's the rundown that everybody was hoping for. And the session will not resume. So there you go. That is it. The session is over, which means this live stream is also over. It's been a pleasure to bring you testing today, both in the morning and also in this final hour. We will be back once again, so please do subscribe, leave a like, leave lots of love. Look out for our tweets tomorrow about us going live. I want to see you here, please. I need some company, and yeah, it's been awesome to chat with you guys. We'll lots more questions I'm sure we'll answer tomorrow and Saturday. So feel free to keep asking us stuff. We can also ask our colleagues at the race. So please do come along tomorrow. But until then, it's been awesome. Pierre Gasly on top, Ferrari 2-3. The Ferrari hype train is still very much chewing. And we'll see you next time for another stream, 7